James from Euclid, Ohio, and you are listening to Barbecue Central.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire fun and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here is how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, it is the first Tuesday of a month, and though we missed him last month because we were racing through the origin stories of the 2025 members of the Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame, he's made it back here for the Thanksgiving month of November. Our pal Malcom Reed will join us, also pitmaster of Killer Hogs competition team when he does that. So we have plenty of Thanksgiving talk to chat about Malcom with. We also have some football foods to talk about Malcom with. I have some other nonsense questions to ask him as well. And always excited to chop it up with Malcom for about 18 minutes on a Tuesday, number one of every month. And then we'll move to 35 Past. For the first hour, we will find the creator and CEO of the World Food Championships, Mike McCloud, makes an appearance about a year ago. He was here talking about the 2024 version of the World Food Championships. As we learned in the Embedded Correspondence segment last week, 4/5 of us didn't even know that the World Food Championships had actually taken place. And little did I know that Maddie's boyfriend, Steve, just happened to be walking through the World Food Championships a handful of weeks ago when it was actually going on. And he was FaceTiming my daughter. She was sitting at the dinner table, and he's like, "Hey, Greg, I just wanted you to know there's some huge event going down at the state fair." I was like, "Oh, wow." He's like, "There's even some barbecue." I didn't even put two and two together till a week or so later, and I said, "Steve, by chance, was it called the World Food Championships?" And he said, "Yeah, indeed, it was." That's exactly what it was. I said, "Holy moly, I had an invitation," and never mind, we got into that last week as well. So Mike McCloud will join us. We will do as quick and in-depth of a recap that we can, given the short side segment on 35 Past. We'll also look ahead to what a final table might look like, because that always goes into calendar year 2026, or it always goes into the next calendar year, so you don't crown a true world food champion until the following year right there, I believe in the March or April timeframe. Last year, final table was at Bentonville at a place that I can't remember specifically, but it's got a real fancy name. Everybody loves it. So, well, we'll talk to Mike about that as well. That'll bring a close to the first hour, then we'll move to the second hour, where we will find also a first Tuesday of the month regular guest. But this guy, 14 past the second hour, you might know him as Sam the Cooking Guy. Yeah, that's right. Like Malcolm, Sam gave back his time because the first Tuesday of the month, I believe, we did a back-to-back, a Andy Husbands, and then backed that up with an Emily Detweiler, if you can believe it. That was a month ago. And Sam relinquished his time to Emily Detweiler, who gave an outstanding interview. And we have plenty to catch up as it relates to Sam the Cooking Guy as well. So that's how the show's laying out here this evening. Malcom Reed and Mike McCloud in the first hour, and then Sam the Cooking Guy in the second hour. Don't forget, you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and LinkedIn, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And, of course, we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show to watch, or you can also watch on YouTube, which is YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show. And we have a new YouTube poll question of the week for those of you watching over there on the YouTube. We touched on it over the last number of weeks, so we'll bring it to the poll for final analysis. And the question is this: David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar for Van Halen lead singer? And again, I'm asking for the Van Halen lead singer, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar. And currently 100% of you are saying, what? David Lee Roth. Holy moly, 100% already. And we're well into the open at this point. Usually it starts out at 100% sometimes on some questions. But right now, we call this a boat race at the beginning of a weekly poll. Results from the poll question of last week: do you prefer barbecue sauce on the meat or barbecue sauce on the side? And 69% of you said you like barbecue sauce on the side. So, a question that I have been getting on any number of weeks as I do the intro, and I don't typically like to hit this more than a couple times a year, but we only have a month and change left before we get into 2026, which is probably when I'll be doing it again. I get this kind of email, which is, when you're talking about the Open, you refer to Cleveland as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city and the barbecue capital of the North Coast. Now, a lot of times I get, what the hell is even the North Coast? So let's break all three down. Also, I get, why do you say Bomb City, USA? I don't understand Bomb City, USA. So for everybody new to the show, for everybody that isn't new to the show, but you haven't been around for these explanations for the next 2.5 minutes, I'll do my best to fit it in and get you up to speed so then you can share all this great information with future listeners or fans that you might introduce to the show. So number one, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city. Right behind me in red, that's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. It's right there. A lot of people come to view it. I've never been in it, still have never been in it. I've been very close to it, very close proximity. I was just off to this side of it where the Cleveland Science Center is. Been to the Cleveland Science Center, but haven't gone across the harbor to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. And that could be in the offing, but maybe not. Again, it's mixed reviews. When people go in and out of a Hall of Fame, if it's not a stellar review, quickly I go to myself, well, would I want to even bother then? I know I live right here. I could go every day of the week if I wanted to. But with mixed reviews, it's not an urgent need for me. And I mean, who knows how long it's been here at this point. I've just never been. So that's number one, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city. That's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame behind me. Cleveland houses the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Number two, barbecue capital of the North Coast. Well, barbecue capital is a little tongue-in-cheek. We are the barbecue capital of nothing except the North Coast. Now, why do you say North Coast? Because when you look on a map and you see where Cleveland is, just north of Cleveland is what? Great Lake Erie. Yes, of course. Now you're getting a geography lesson. And so, believe it or not, there's a beach area that runs for miles to the west and miles to the east. A lot of people would call that a coastline, and at least in the northern or the northeast Ohio region of Ohio, especially, so let's call it 20, 30 minutes west of Cleveland, so getting out into the Lakewood, Rocky River area, go all the way out east to, let's say, Mentor, Ohio, where there is considerable beach area. We call that the North Coast because it's north of Cleveland. It is the coast before Lake Erie, the North Coast, barbecue capital of the North Coast because it's a barbecue show. And then lastly, Bomb City, USA, and I got 10 seconds left, and it's not going to nearly be enough time. I say this. Google Bomb City, USA, and then understand where the Irish mob and Denny Green came into play and the amount of car bombs that they were setting, that the Hells Angels at the time were setting, the involvement of Cosa Nostra and how they were battling back and forth. A lot of people and a lot of bombs were getting set here in Cleveland, Ohio, spurring a particular news outlet that I can't remember to call Cleveland Bomb City, USA. So it's not necessarily a great nickname, but I call it Bomb City, USA because that's what it is. Bomb City, USA. Hopefully I've gotten you up to speed. Now, are you looking for more smoke flavor out of your pellet smoker? I mean, let's be honest. Of course you are, because sometimes it tastes more like a fancy oven. Do you want that stick burner flavor without the stick burner work? Who doesn't? Unless you enjoy tending a fire all day and potentially smelling like a campfire for like a week. Look no further than Smokin' Pecan Pellets. Smokin' Pecan Pellets made out of 100 pecan shells. That's right. Nothing but pecan shells. No fillers, no binders, no artificial flavor enhancers. Your meat will thank you. Your wallet might too after you realize you're not paying for sawdust. Yeah. Smokin' Pecan Pellets, a premium cooking pellet that burns hotter, lasts longer. That means your pellet smoker will consume less pellets over time compared to most pellet brands as well. More time to relax, less time refilling. Dare I say, it's like a mini vacation. Their pecan shells, those pellets have a robust flavor that pairs well with a variety of meats, including all the big ones: beef, pork, chicken. How about fish? You love fish. Great on fish. Even your weird Aunt Mildred, who only eats boiled chicken, might actually enjoy this because there's flavor in those there pellets. Pecan shell pellets. Not wood pellets. Pecan shell pellets. Get the smoke. Burn the shells. Really, it's a lifestyle. Promo code for Barbecue Central Show listeners, 10% off your order, because who doesn't love a good discount, especially when it comes to delicious barbecue. Go to Smokin', S-M-O-K-I-N, smokinpecan.com, or pecan if you don't know how to spell pecan. There's no U and H. Smokinpecan.com, P-E-C-A-N, S-M-O-K-I-N, P-E-C-A-N, smokinpecan.com, and then promo code BBQ Central for 10% off your order. We'll ask Malcolm if he's used Smokin' Pecan pellets when we come back. And by the way, he's ready to go. So stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue has a question in the instant chat. Why do you call the show the Barbecue Central Show? Not now, Joe, not now. There's a story to that, believe it or not. Do you know the story? There is a story. Hey, the segment brought to you by Fireboard, makers of Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, the Fireboard Beacon, and the wireless Fireboard Pulse. When you use the Fireboard app, you have total access to all devices anywhere in the world as long as they are connected to your Wi-Fi network or LAN. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. And dare I say, anything that Fireboard makes should be on the top of your list for the holiday season. which we're pretty much in. So Whoop-de-Doo and Dickory Dock, I already got 2 Christmas trees up already. Those aren't even the big ones, you can believe. As soon as Halloween is over, Becky's like, get your ass down there and let's start pulling up the Christmas stuff. And who knows Christmas better than my next guest? But before that, it's Thanksgiving. It's Malcom Reed. Hey, Mal.
What's up, Greg? What's happening?
YouTube poll question of the week, and it is still kind of a boat race, so we'll ask you, music aficionado, Malcom Reed, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar for your choice of Van Halen lead singer?
David Lee Roth, all day long.
All right, 77% of the YouTube voting public is also saying David Lee Roth. Now, if I was going to ask a different question, I'm wondering where your answer is. I'm not trying to turn this into an abbreviated embedded correspondent from last week. Who's the better singer between the two, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Oh, man. See, that's tough because I do like the Red Rocker. He could sing. I just think Roth fronts Van Halen better, and I love all the aerial kicks. And I just remember those videos he used to do. California Girls, Smoking in the Boys, all that good old Van Halen stuff, man. That was awesome. Hot for Teacher, that was it, wasn't it?
Panama, Jump, all the high kicks.
Jump.
Yeah, so I agree. David Lee Roth is a singer. I'm in agreement with you. I think Sammy Hagar better singer technically than David Lee Roth. Better front man, David Lee Roth every day of the week. How about this? Why not just throw the last question out? Which version of Van Halen had the bigger number of iconic songs, David Lee Roth or the Sammy Hagar version?
I'm still going to go with David Lee Roth. I know they probably didn't have as.
I agree. 8. I think they were together 5 or 6 years under the David Lee Roth regime. Sammy Hagar was damn near close to 12 or 13, but I think the most iconic songs are under the David Lee Roth era, and some other folks in the instant chat are also weighing in with you. So Malcom Reed, if you didn't know, is got a huge YouTube channel, and there's 1.88 million YouTube subscribers as of just a few minutes ago, as I checked, so closely getting to that 2 million mark. We have a huge holiday coming up here in a couple weeks, one of your favorites, Thanksgiving. I say Thanksgiving, but you say, I say Thanksgiving, you say Thanksgiving. I think that's a Southern thing. What do you love, not to ask the dumb question, but what do you love most about Thanksgiving?
Man, I mean, it's got to be the food. I mean, that's the best part of it. It's just a time to be gluttonous, man. I mean, we're cooking turkeys and ham, and the dressing and all the sides that go with it and everything. But I think, the football aspect. I love watching, college football, pro football during Thanksgiving. For us in Mississippi, it's hunting season, like it is for most people, so that's big for my family. And I don't know. I guess it's just get to see everybody, the fellowship. There's no gifts involved, so you're not under pressure to have to come up with something that somebody gave you something, to pay them back and all that. It's just good times and good fellowship and family and friends.
I didn't know if I was going to get you in a blind this time around in November, or are you going to be around for next month, or did we kind of miss the hunt season as far as the show is concerned?
No, next month I will be in Texas. I looked at it just when I sat down, was kind of waiting in the green room. So we got to come up with a solution for that. So
all right.
I may have Wi-Fi there. I just don't know how good it is.
Yeah, maybe
maybe
we pre-record and trick the audience one time here before the end of the year. What are you shooting down in Texas specifically? I know last year it was bison up in North Dakota.
Yeah, so this year I'm going after just whitetail deer, hogs. They got this place that we go hunt has a pretty good hog problem, which is there's a big hog problem everywhere in Texas. So, they like you to shoot as many of those you can. And, whatever else I see that's cool. I mean, I don't have anything really in particular in mind, just getting to go sit in a deer stand, be outside and enjoy some nature for once and just be able to sit there quietly and collect my thoughts. That's a big part of hunting for me.
Is it going to be hot down there?
No, it shouldn't be. I mean, it's pretty mild where we are. We're in the hill country. Temps 60s for the high, low 40s. So it's not miserable.
Did you work through all that bison meat yet?
Not all of it. There's no way. I still have a ton in the freezer. I mean, we've ate a lot of it. We've ate a lot of it. Yeah.
Holy moly! How much you got left? You think?
Man, I don't know. I probably got 40 or 50 pounds left, which isn't a lot compared to what I had. But I mean, I've gave a lot away. We eat a lot of it too. I mean, you get tired of eating it all the time, so it's not something you want to eat every day. But it's really good. Yeah,
I didn't have hundreds of pounds, but you did send me a nice sampling stuff, and I ate through it pretty quickly. And I'm a guy that is also, at least over the last couple of years, eating a lot of ground beef, lean ground beef in general, like a lot of the time during the week. So I could have that. I ate through the ground stuff you sent me, I think inside of 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half tops. And delicious, lean, great flavor, no doubt. But then the cuts also that you sent, cooked to like medium rare or so, and very kind of an elevated beef flavor, but like in no offensive way at all. Like maybe more of where could I get my hands on some regular great bison, and there really isn't a lot of great places around me. I probably could call Kevin down at the butcher shop and source some, but it really inspired me to be on the lookout. So when I do run across it, I'm certainly not scared to pick it up and then have it for dinner soon after.
Yeah, that's kind of the way we were. We didn't. I mean, I never really ate a lot of bison. I'd had a little bit of experience with it, cooking some for a company called Mossy Oak. They have a wild game butcher business where they sell some of it, and so I'd bought some of their ribeyes before and cooked some of those. Fantastic. And when it's cooked right, it's like you said, it's like a little more intense beef flavor, but it's not gamey at all. It's really if you like the taste of beef, you're going to love bison because that's what it tastes like. But I got something for you, Greg. I'm going to shoot an elk next week, and I'm going to bring back a bunch of meat. And so I'm going to send you some of that so you can compare it to the bison, because for me, elk is the best tasting venison there is. It's fantastic.
Do you have one being held hostage at the moment? You're going to go execute it, or you got to go hunt it?
No, I've actually got a place out in Texas that I'm a member of, and we have some elk tags. And it's not a big bull elk. I'm just going to go shoot a cow elk, but we have to do so much management every year, and so they have animals allocated to where the group has to take off a certain amount, and for you to be a part of it, that's part of your job. So, so I'm going to go do my part. But I'm excited because I love eating it. That was my thing. It's like I'm your guy for that.
I always thought elk was more north, like in cold areas. I didn't realize they were south.
So where I'm at's up in the panhandle of Texas, and they're on this ranch that's there. Then I think they used to be native, or there's still some in Oklahoma right close to us too. But there's parts of Texas that have some too. So. There's no season for it. It's like if it's on the special preserve, they have so many tags that they can take off or something. Now don't get me. I don't exactly know all the rules. I need to brush up on them, of course. But I just know that I have a tag that I can kill one. So.
But they're not like pests or invasive or anything like that. Yeah.
No, they do have a species called axis deer.
Yeah.
They consider them somewhat invasive because they're not natural to Texas. They were introduced, and they kind of got out of these high fence areas, and they kind of started reproducing and taking over. So you can shoot those when you see them too. I was lucky enough to shoot one last year at a different place in Texas, and man, it was fantastic too. Axis deer tastes great.
So when you got the bison down, you had it like quartered, and you rented a 18-wheeler to haul all that meat back, and then you ended up having it processed in Hernando or somewhere close by. When you get your kills down in Texas, do they butcher on site there, or you have a similar process of getting it back?
No, what we do is we quarter the animals up, and we pack them on ice, and then we just truck them back. We throw them in. I mean, I've got my big hog cooler that I use for competitions to take hogs to contest on. It'll hold, it'll hold probably two quartered up elk. And so we're going to take that over there. We go and take a vacuum sealer. We might go ahead and break some of it down off the bone. I'm not going to do any like grinding or anything like that over there. I'll bring it back and do all that when we have time here. But the goal is just to get it cooled down fast and on ice, and then get it back to Mississippi.
And you will end up butchering yourself, though.
Yeah, this one I will.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mix it with anything. I just want the ground elk. I'm not adding any fat. It's kind of like that bison. We didn't add anything to it. That's just that animal. And I like the flavor of it. I think it's great. It's really healthy. It's a great choice for your, if you need some really good red meat to eat, introduce to your diet. Wild game's great for that. Elk and bison are up there, some of the best protein you could eat.
You going to serve it for Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks?
No. My mom and dad wouldn't get down with that.
Really?
They're more traditionalists. Yeah. They didn't say I didn't really grow up eating wild game because my parents never liked it. And I think it comes back like if you were a kid and you grew up, you were forced to eat it because you had to. A lot of times they grew out of like they didn't want to eat that. They didn't want to serve that to their kids when they got older. And so I never was like forced to eat wild game. We didn't have to. I come from the latchkey, supermarket, grocery store stuff.
Yeah.
Everything we got was bought.
How did you get your first introduction into game?
Well, I had an uncle that had a farm, and my dad's brothers would hunt when I would go, so I would see them coming up there and hunting around Thanksgiving and all that. So I just decided I wanted to start going, tag along, and bother people. And when I was younger, they would take me, and then as I got older enough to go to myself, we've got a ton of public land in Mississippi, and so I would go, and friends would go, we'd go, on public land and just do the best we could.
All right, let's dial it back because we got about 7.5 minutes here. Let's make sure that Malcom Reed is arming people with the best information to make sure that Thanksgiving is going to be at least as successful as possible. So what are the do's and don'ts, things you want to do ahead of time, things that maybe you want to do everything ahead of time, I don't know. And then kind of plan out a day of what a successful Thanksgiving might look like.
Yeah, so immediately I think of turkeys. That's pretty much what everybody's going to be cooking. And usually it's a whole turkey. If you want to cook a big turkey breast, that's fine too. But I like to start thinking about where I'm going to get that turkey right now because we're, 20-something days away from Thanksgiving. It's not far. It's going to be here before you know it. And most of the time, those birds are going to come froze. So you can go ahead and buy them when the stores start putting them out. I like to cook turkeys in the 10 to 12 pound range. I think they cook better. If you got a big family and you need more than that, cook 2 of them. But I try to stay away from those 20-pound birds, man. They take so much longer to cook. It's so much harder to get the breast done before you get the legs and thighs done. So just look for those 10 to 12 pounders and then give yourself plenty of time for it to slow thaw in the refrigerator. It's going to take for a 10 to 12 pound bird, you need 3 to 4 days at least in a refrigerator. Once you get it thawed, I'm a big believer in brine, man. I think if you got the time, which if you plan it, you will have the time, let that turkey soak for 24 hours at least in a brine solution. And it can be as simple as salt and sugar and some seasonings, or you can buy brine. There's plenty of commercial brines out there. We sell one on my website, but you could use anything. You can find a brine recipe, but get that flavor down deep in the bird. That's what the brine does for it. And then when you get ready to cook it, it's going to take somewhere between 3 to 4 or 5 hours to cook a turkey. I give myself plenty of time. I believe in using a meat thermometer because I want to get that breast just right. I like cooking them at 300 degrees, right around that. If it's 275, it's okay. If it's 325, it's okay. But you want to be around 300 degrees to get that skin crispy because you want good skin. You don't want that rubbery, chewy skin. And so what I do is when I take my turkey out of the brine, I like to put it on a little raised rack on a pan and put it back in the refrigerator, let the air in the refrigerator dry the outside. Then you can put some kind of oil or fat on the outside. That's going to help it brown up. It's going to help your seasoning stick. Once you get it seasoned up and in your pit, you see me cooking a lot of turkeys on pellet grills just because I love that airflow in it. I think it gets that skin almost as crispy as you can get a smoked turkey. It's not like a deep fried turkey, but it does have a really nice texture. You can slice through it. You can keep skin around the meat as you carve it up. Once you start watching that internal temperature, I don't do much to it. If it starts getting too dark, I may tint it with foil, but I never wrap a turkey up tight because all that's doing is trapping that heat in there and it's going to soften that skin up. The goal is to make a crispy skin as possible. Then when I take it off, after it gets to 160, it's going to need to carry over to that 165 in the breast. Your dark meat should be 175, but I'm really worried about that breast meat because if you take it off at 160, it's going to climb to 165, 167, right in there. It's about 7 degrees, you'll see. And what I do is I like to leave that thermometer in it, let it carry over, and then as it starts coming back down, that's when you know it's time to carve it and serve it. It's that easy.
Are you a spatchcocker of any sort, or you keep the bird whole guy?
I mean, if I want to cook one fast and take up less space, I'll definitely spatchcock if I'm not really worried about presentation. But, I mean, most people, when they think of that Norman Rockwell turkey, that big one with a guy, the husband standing there with his fork and his knife and everybody's around the table. That's kind of what I think of for Thanksgiving. So usually I cook a whole bird, but I also cook the breast, man. You can't, Kevin's got those big Texas style turkey breasts down there. And those things, if you want the best eating turkey, that's the best eating turkey to me. A whole turkey's good. It's a showpiece and all. I mean, I'm not a big leg and thigh guy on a turkey. It's okay, but I really like that whole breast.
What about, so you're talking about brining, you're a big brine guy, so it is important to make sure if you're kind of just getting into all of this, when you're reading the label, there's words like enhanced or salt solution, things like. So what do you got to take into account if you're seeing that and then also wanting to use a brine, because you don't want to potentially oversalt anything?
So what I found that when you brine one, it's not going to be oversalted. Like, it's going to go to equilibrium in that solution when it's moving the molecules or whatever scientific stuff it does to get those flavors in the turkey. It's not going to over concentrate itself. So I don't worry about if it's already injected or whatever. And in fact, some of them I'll inject anyway. Like when I do a Cajun turkey, I like to take a stick of butter and some chicken broth and some Cajun seasoning just to shoot that in to give me some more flavor to go with that salty savoriness that you get from the brine. And I've never found it to be overpowering. To me, turkey is so neutral, man. It can take on just about any kind of flavor you put on it. And so it's by itself, it's kind of bland. So it really needs all those seasonings, the salt, the sugar that's in the brine, any other flavors you put in it. That turkey can handle it. I get that question every year. I've got one of these injected, pre-injected solution turkeys. Do I need to brine it? Do I need to inject it? And my answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Add more flavor to it.
2 best side dishes in Thanksgiving.
Do you consider dressing or stuffing a side dish? Because you got to have that.
Of course.
You got to have that. And then, man, I'm a casserole guy. So, sweet potato casserole, mac and cheese casserole, hash brown casserole. You give me all those. Green bean casserole. I want all of them.
Wow. All right. So we know what Malcolm's going to be doing. Last question before I let you go. I had mentioned it as we were coming into the segment. I'm kind of reintroduced to a company called Smokin' Pecan, which is pecan shell pellets. Have you heard of them? If so, have you ever tried?
So I did. I got some samples of those, and this has been several years ago. I don't know if it was early concept or they were just hitting the market. I can't remember the gentleman's name that sent them to me, but he just wanted me to try them and kind of give him an honest review. And I remember, so what I did, I didn't really get enough to fill a hopper up with them, but I mixed it with some pellets just to see if I could pick up some of that extra smoke. And you definitely do get extra smoke with them. I know it's a premium product. If I remember right, the price point was, it's substantially more than a bag of pellets, and it may have came down. I hadn't seen them for sale here lately, but I'm definitely going to go check those out because I thought the idea was great. 100% pure pecan hull, make it a pellet. I mean, that's how you get flavor and stuff. Because, a lot of these others are just compacted sawdust almost, and they add some wood in it to get some flavor, but you don't get a ton. That's why, it's hard for me to say all the wood species matters on pellets because I've tried them all, and I can't pick up. I'm not that good enough to pick up on one and say, yeah, you used apple pellet in that, did you? Or you used, maple or something, that's so neutral that it doesn't really matter. Now, if you use mesquite, I can pick up on mesquite. There's no doubt about it. But I don't know. I love that idea of that pure product, and I think it's a great idea.
Malcolm, always appreciate the time. Have a great Thanksgiving. Tell everybody I said hello, and we'll figure out December when we get closer.
We'll stay in touch, Greg. Have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right, take care. Malcom Reed right there. So he remembers being a fan of the pecan pellets as well. Great. Bob McClurg, I saw your question. I can email it over to Malcolm. We just ran out of time. Best barbecue right seasoning for elk or other game meat. I'll find out that answer for you. Can you email me that question so I can forward it to Malcolm? Because I'll forget by the time the show's over and the chat will have gone up. And I will just be a bad host and forget. I don't want to forget. I want to help you, Bob. So email me, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and I will ask him. Hey, what do we love about ceramic cookers? We love that they're fuel efficient. We love that they can achieve low and slow temperatures for the traditional barbecue meats. We love that they can get rip-roaring hot for the high-temperature grilling of steaks and other thin cuts. But what's missing in the everyday lineup of ceramic cookers? The real ability to do true two-zone cooking. Two-zone cooking is very important to both professional and backyard cooks alike. It's the best way to manage a fire and cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire and a round ceramic cooker is not very realistic. Why? Because it's round. And a Primo grill in the game-changing oval design, the shape gives you the ability to execute that two-zone setup that you desire. It also gives you the other ceramic grill benefits as well. And when you break it down, there's more than 60 different ways to configure the Primo cooker, so you're only limited by your culinary imagination. Only sold through dealers. So you have to go visit them in person. Go to primogrill.com, find a dealer near you, then visit said Primo in person, and then pick the oval that is best for you. I've said it many times. I've never known anybody to buy bigger than they originally thought and then were disappointed. Always the buyer's remorse is, I should have gone bigger. In this instance, you can go bigger. You can go XL, you can go double XL. PrimoGrill.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram. We're back with Mike McCloud right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank Malcom Reed for joining us last segment. HowToBBQRight.com is his website. My next guest tonight has created something called the World Food Championships. A few weeks ago, 2025's version of the World Food Championships took place. And for the second year in its location of Indianapolis, Indiana. Here for the recap and more, our pal and 2024 Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer, in case you forgot. Mike McCloud, I didn't forget. It's one of his crowning achievements in life, even though he never admits it, but I'll say it for him. Mike, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar for Van Halen singer?
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar, all right, 75%. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Only because I stood next to his car when he was trying to auction it off with Barrett Jackson last year.
So 29% agreeing with you that the Red Rocker is their version of the Van Halen lead singer. I think he's a better lead singer, like mechanically and just from a singing standpoint than David Lee Roth. But I would say between two as front men, would you agree that David Lee Roth the better front man, showman?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right,
question.
so we have had the 2025 version of the World Food Championship. So we're always coming back in a couple weeks after the fact, getting the first post-mortem run-through of really is one of the bigger World Food Champion, one of the bigger competitive cooking things over the course of a year anywhere in the world. So what did a 2025 World Food Championship look like for you, high level?
Well, I actually think it's one of our most successful events. We delivered operationally extremely well. I think we had the best layout of the event since we've done it. We had the best connection to barbecue on the outside, and then we even incorporated barbecue on the inside for their finals. So we were very happy from an operational standpoint, very happy from an attendance standpoint. We had over 10,000 people that came through the event over the course of 4 days. Actually, 2 of those days were public. 2 of those days were industry driven and kind of closed strategically. But I considered it a pretty success, and we almost broke even on it financially. So that was good.
Well, I don't want to ask a dumb question here, Mike, but Is the goal to make money? Is the goal to break even? Is there a bigger goal? So money, while important, isn't something that you're just like racing through the P&L after the show's over to see where you ended up at?
Well, we always race through the P&L to see where we ended up. But really what people, I think most people don't understand about WFC versus some of the other major events, be it Memphis in May, the Royal, the Jack, etc., is that we really are trying to build a platform that the event needs to occur for. And out of the event, going into the event, we're constantly doing derivative opportunities, revenues for cooks and chefs to go into Sam's Club or Walmart, opportunities to work with Famous Dave's, opportunities to work with Coca-Cola, Tyson, et cetera. So our business model, it really looks at the main event as kind of like the flywheel, and there are many spokes that come off of it, many other revenue streams that come out of it, whether it's licensing, qualifier revenue, golden ticket revenue, activations, in-store, out-of-store, et cetera. We've built a system of revenue and opportunities, and the event needs to occur to kind of make it all happen. So my objective is technically every year is to kind of break even with the event. I want to take every single dollar that we can generate from sponsorships, from ticket sales, and make the event bigger, better, bolder, more complicated, more interesting. So if I see a $75,000 or $100,000 upside opportunity 30 days out from the event, I'm constantly talking to my staff about, okay, how do we invest this to make the event even better? Is there another celebrity chef we can bring in? Is there an activation that we can create? Is there another entity in Indianapolis, in this particular example, whether it's the Pacers, the Colts, et cetera, who we can bring in and bring more attention to this whole concept of food sports? So that's why when I talk about the event breaking even, I'm actually happy, because we looked at it as an impetus, a reason du jour, a platform establishing element that gives purpose to everything else that we're doing.
You'd mentioned that the layout this year you thought might have been the best one to date. It's your second time in Indy, so what did you figure out from 24 that you were able to improve on in 2025?
So we had access to a beautiful facility in Indy. That's one of the reasons we moved there. They have an ag pavilion on the fairgrounds. It's brand new. They spent probably almost $100 million building this facility, and it's surrounded. It's high ceilings, open architecture from like an open span perspective, and then it has roll up doors on pretty much every two of the main sides of the building. And what we had done last year is we kind of bifurcated the facility and used it operationally in a way that was great for us, but not necessarily great for the intent of the facility. So this year we repositioned our main stage, and it allowed us to open up the entire span of the arena, which accomplished a couple of things. One, we created a football field of cooking kitchenettes, and to the right of it, we integrated our sponsors. And if you were standing at the entrance and looking out over the entire span of the building, you could see that there was something else outside. You could see that through the row top doors, that there was activity, there was smoke, there are things happening outside. So there was a natural pull to the end of the building, which is the way they had architected the building and planned it in the first place. So and it worked fantastic for us operationally. It pulled a consumer straight from the entrance right by our football field right out into the parking lot where the barbecue zone was and where we had our big barbecue kickoff party called Ignite.
When you talk about getting barbecue inside for a portion, how do you do that, and how is that safe or legal?
It's not legal if you do true barbecue, but so we had 45 cooking stations built indoors. The barbecue teams had to cook outdoors. Open flame couldn't occur legally indoors. So open flame was outdoors. And what we created this year was a situation where the barbecue teams in the finals on the third day of barbecue competition could start cooking outdoors whenever they wanted to. But the last hour of their cook, which normally involves plating of their dish and final touches to their dish, of course, had to occur indoors in our kitchen arena. We did that for several reasons. One, to make sure that they were contained and that they were close to turn-in window area and that they weren't going to be late. They were going to be logistically right there in the heartbeat of WFC, where we had live action judging going on in 9 other categories prior to them. We put them right at the very end. And then secondly, it forced them to really plan their cook in a way that they had to think about indoors. What were they going to do in that last hour before they met the window? Otherwise, if you're finished an hour and you just come in there and you're kind of twiddling your thumbs, your meat's going to, or your dish is going to get ruined or cold or hot or whatever. And thirdly, we gave them all a secret ingredient, a mystery ingredient that they had to incorporate. So we wanted to see, would they put that on the grill, or would they put that in the ovens and or the microwaves that we had in the kitchen arena? So that gave our consumers, attendees, a great opportunity to see barbecue teams planning, approaching, finalizing their dishes, just like every other category. So it put barbecue a little bit in parity with everything else that we do at the World Food Championships. And that's one of the reasons that we thought that would be a good move. And it turned out to be pretty successful. I was really, really impressed with the plating and the dishes that each one of the 10 barbecue teams pulled together in the Ring of Fire finals, and how they utilized our kitchen arenas.
Do you think, or how do you think, barbecue within the World Food Championships has progressed over the last 13 years?
I think it's gotten a lot more elevated. I think it's gotten a lot sexier. I think it's gotten a lot more complicated. As you should know, hopefully we use a silver platter turn-in process. We don't put barbecue or anything in a styrofoam box. So that means a team has to present their dish in a very appetizing way on a big silver platter. They have to decorate it. They have to make it look sexy. They have to make it look appetizing. And usually they add more components to it. And if you were able to see our barbecue finals, where we had 10 incredible champions, 5 of them coming from other events like Memphis in May, the Jack, the Royal, and 5 coming through our process there in Indianapolis, you would have noticed that the talent spectrum was amazing. You would also notice that the dishes were incredibly different. What ended up winning wasn't traditional barbecue. And that's part of the whole objective at the World Food Championships, is to think outside the box and tell us and show us and prove to us that your barbecue platter from start to finish was phenomenal, and back it up with a Q&A, a live Q&A with 5 expert barbecue judges able to taste it and then ask you questions. That makes it more complicated. Barbecue teams have to be able to present their dish. They can't just put it in a box and hope that it does great, and then if it doesn't do great, blame the judges. They have to actually face the judges, and they have to answer the questions of the judges, and they have to tell the judges why it was the best cook of their lives. And I think that makes compelling TV. I think that makes compelling competition in barbecue.
13 years ago, we were having a conversation of, well, there were other things outside of barbecue and World Food Championships that maybe we both thought that the most successful and the best cooks there were the folks that were outside cooking barbecue. Do you still think that some of the best cooks in World Food Championship today still remain the barbecue folks?
That's a great question. I think I will never take away anything from a great barbecue pit master. A great barbecue pit master can do a lot of things that a typical chef cannot. And being able, even from starting a fire, right? I mean, how many great chefs in America at a Michelin restaurant could survive, let alone excel, if they had to start from scratch? If they literally had to start their fire, had to create their oven, had to deliver a dish at a certain time, and know that they can control it every step of the way, all the way to the finishing touch. I don't think it's a secret. Barbecue is why the World Food Championships exist. When I got involved in the Kansas City Barbecue Society and realized how talented these barbecue pitmasters were, doing pizza on a grill, doing desserts on a smoker, that's when I realized, holy cow, this is an amazing industry. And all these side dish ancillaries that we're seeing, whether it's a burger, a hot dog, a sandwich, a dessert, a side dish, whatever it is, they deserve their own stage, if you will. And that was the genesis of the World Food Championship. So I will always be a champion for barbecue pit masters who really know their stuff. And I think Al Alino, who is our current champion right now, is one of those guys that he knows how to run a restaurant. He knows what it's like to be at the final table. He knows he's going to have to be good outside of a kitchen, a professional kitchen, and also inside a professional kitchen. So he's going to have to learn how to also work the ovens and the fancy equipment on the inside. But it doesn't, I don't have to look at just our champions. Look at, like your former guest, Malcom Reed. I mean, Malcom Reed could work his way around any kitchen and do phenomenal things. Tuffy Stone. I've never seen someone be able to attack a challenge, a cooking challenge like Tuffy Stone, right? So these guys and gals are phenomenal at what they do. Now, all that aside, when I look at a John McFadden, who was our champion 2 years ago, and a single chef who came from Australia and worked like a freaking AI cook machine, and was unstoppable. I look at his talent and I'm also amazed at his ability to create a dish from scratch. I don't know if he could do it with a Yoder smoker, or a pellet grill or a Weber grill, but in a kitchen, he's almost unbeatable. And so we are seeing the best of the best who are coming to the World Food Championships, trying to prove that they are the best. And hopefully we're giving them a level playing field that allows them to shine. But it's like the NFL, right? It's like college football. On any given day, when you're dealing with the numbers that we're dealing with and the number of talented people that we see every single year, it's anybody's day. It's anybody's challenge. It's anybody's championship. They just have to execute their great ideas.
What's final table look like? As I had mentioned in the open, World Food Champions unique in the fact that you have the week in Indy, but then we really don't have a champion until we broach into the following year. So how's that setting up?
Setting up well. I spent last week in Bentonville trying to make sure that all the wheels are greased and the skids are ready and all that good stuff. Right now we're planning. We're looking at dates at the end of March and early mid-April to pull off the final table in Bentonville again. We, as you know, we do a lot of work with Sam's Club and Walmart, and we may have some very exciting news coming out in the next 30, 45 days about Sam's Club and Walmart as it pertains to barbecue. So hang tight on that. But we believe the final table will be phenomenal. This would be our third year in a row in Bentonville if we do follow through with this game plan. There is one anomaly that's entered into the conversation in the last 60 days that might pull us to another great food city in America for the final table, but I'm working through that, looking at it and trying to think through, what's best strategically for the platform. But right now, the smartest thing and the best thing that we can do is work with our great partners at Sam's Club and Walmart.
Does that secret city rhyme with Cleveland? Oh yeah, the great food town of Cleveland. You've been.
I don't think it does. Oh. Sorry about that.
Oh, heartache again. Oh, well. Luckily, Cleveland's used to that. Quick question before I let you go and appreciate the extended yeah, go ahead.
Chili in Cleveland kind of has a rhyme to it, though. For the first time ever, we had our chili championship married up with our World Food Championships this year in Indy, and we had a great operational success with it, and we took chili indoors for the first time, and that worked really well. But it felt like it stole some thunder away from the chili teams because WFC is such a glitzy, glamorous arena, and we had chili in another building. So I'm kind of thinking through: do I want to do that again, or do I want to separate chili back to a unique city somewhere?
Can't that be part of World Food Championships? Chili?
It was part of the World Food Championships. When we first started, I was unsuccessful in trying to acquire the International Chili Society, and in 2009. So in 2010, when we started laying the groundwork for WFC, we added chili to our event.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 years later, I decided, okay, ICS and Cassie and Terlingua they really have their act together, so we don't need to compete with them. So we walked away from chili. And then lo and behold, in 2020, I ended up buying ICS, and now I can operate both the Chili Championship and the World Food Championships, and for the first time this year, we put them together to see how that would work. And there were some successes to it, but there's a part of me that thinks chili needs to stand alone. So I'm still kind of working through those decisions.
Don't answer if you don't care to, but kind of cash does it take to buy the International Chili Cooking Federation? Like $80-$90 or?
Yeah, I wish. It all comes down to negotiations, but usually those negotiations end up in six or seven figures. So.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
listen,
we never know.
We sanction, believe this or not, we sanction over 100 chili competitions in America.
I believe it. I mean, I know it. Chili is like, it's popular. Everybody talks about it. You get into certain weather conditions, and it's like on everybody's menu every weekend. Oh, you warm up with a bowl of chili. But when we get into like competing chili, for some reason, I can sit here and try to logically explain to you how 50 teams turning in chicken, ribs, brisket, and pork shoulder are going to be vastly different. And on the other side of the coin go, well, how much different could chili be? It's meat, it's sauce. You either have beans or you don't. But it's probably the same thing as barbecue, right?
Yeah, I don't want to paint that broad brush like you are, but I will say that when we added home style chili to the mix, it was a great addition because it brought a lot of variety to the table.
What is home style chili?
It's whatever you want it to be. It could be Cincinnati 3-way chili. It could be with beans, without beans. It could be white turkey chili. It could be a whole lot of things. So the home style chili, I like traditional red. I like chili verde. They will always have a place in the landscape of chili. But home style chili is very unique. I mean, if I'm making chili at home, I'm adding cornbread, and I'm adding sour cream, and I'm adding a dash of honey to it. So those things just warm my heart and stick to my bones a lot better than the other chili.
So, not to go down the chili rabbit hole here, but here we are. At other chili sanctioned events, you're showing up and you're cooking whatever you said, Texas Red or Chili Verde, whatever the hell that is. And like everybody's showing up and cooking that, and you have to have the best version of that in order to win that event. I thought it was all home style chili. You showed up and you cooked fucking chili.
Yeah, you have to do at least 3 traditional chilies. One is traditional red. The other is chili verde, which is green chili. And the third would be salsa or veggie chili. And then we added home style chili, which opened it up, allowing you to cook it any way you want to. So those are the 4 verticals right now.
I don't even know if I've had a chili verde. Is that
you should try it?
Is that available at restaurants? I only see red chili. Does that qualify as chili red or whatever?
Yeah, you don't see chili verde very much at a restaurant, but it's the second most popular chili in the chili sanctioning world. Huh. So if I can get you an invitation other than through LinkedIn next year, and you come to the competition wherever we are with chili, I will make sure you try chili verde.
Yeah,
if you like spicy,
oh yes,
now you got to be you got to like spicy. If you don't like spicy, you're not going to like chili verde.
Love it.
You may actually like chili verde.
All right. Well, you could be looking at the new president of the chili component of Mike McCloud's food empire. You never know. I mean, here.
Hey, we can negotiate those terms after the call if you want to.
Yeah, and from what I understand, when dealing with me, they are in the 6 or 7 figure range, just to keep it all.
That's right.
All cohesive there. We're talking with Mike McCloud here, by the way. WorldFoodChampionship.com is the website. And keep your eyes and ears open for the final table. Maybe we can circle up once you get all those details nailed down, and we'll do a little hype for that one.
Yeah, we should probably talk in January, Greg. I think we're going to have some great news to share with you.
Okay.
And I'd love to talk more about the Ring of Fire Barbecue Championship when we get a chance. I think it's one of the steps forward for the industry.
Mike, always appreciate the time and look forward to January. Take care.
Same here, buddy.
Mike McCloud. Class. Nothing but class. I'm not going to sit here and try and guess anything. You know what? I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to try and guess anything yet. All right, we're a little over. That's fine. Do a little clock catch up. I think I'm good here on my business. So we will wrap the first hour, do an abridged second hour, open, and then we'll get ready for a Sam the Cooking Guy. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And we thank Mike McCloud for joining us. A little bit extended. That's great. Okay. If you weren't paying attention, towards the end-ish, Mike said something about I might have a really big announcement that involves Sam's Club and Walmart and barbecue. Huh. If you know the industry, you know what I'm not saying, okay? You know what I'm not saying. Anyway, great segment from Mike McCloud, and we look forward to catching back up to him in January when we might have some great news to reveal, and then I can tell you I knew it. Just remember this day, November 4th, 2025. Joe, green chili or chili verde, not available everywhere. Anyway, we are pointing to the second hour. Stick around. We will be right back.